Good morning and welcome back into another weekly segment of Talks with RJ. This is our 8th segment. I was thinking last night, wow, time has really been flying by and we have been having fun. This is our 8th segment, as I stated. But this morning we are pleased to be joined by a guest who has dealt with hardship, who has dealt with problems, but it's always success at the end of the day. And it's not easy to deal with what she has dealt with. So this morning she's going to talk about a little bit of her journey and everything she has to deal with and over-accomplish. Good morning, Ms. Sheila Kidd. How are you?
Good morning, RJ. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you this morning for taking your time to talk with us this morning on Talks with RJ. But this morning, before we get into it, I want to talk about, everybody knows you in the community, but everybody also knows the story you have to deal with. So can you talk about, first of all, before we get deep in our interview, can you talk about Jordan's life? I seen doing some research. He was born July 31st. 1998. So can you just talk about everything that happened up until that time and when he was born?
Okay. Well, Jordan was born, like you said, in July of 1998. Jordan has always been a fun child, a fun kid ever since, he came out the womb, I guess. He was always laughing. He liked to play. Just a joy to be around. At around the age of 4 years old, almost 5-ish, Jordan was diagnosed with asthma, and that has been a challenge in his life. But Jordan, he did not let his asthma disability keep him from doing anything or keep him from living. So, there were just some challenges growing up with that. But he persevered through, but, just until when he turned 21. He passed away from that asthma disease.
So when you talk about challenges, we all go through challenges and have different things, but in my research, I noticed that didn't stop him from playing different sports, different games. So can you talk about how he had a disability, but at the same time, that didn't stop him from doing anything that he loved that he wanted to do?
Absolutely, absolutely. He was very resilient. Whenever he would get sick, when he was sick, he was sick. But when he was well, and he made the best of life. He made the best of everything that he could.
That's awesome. That's really good. But so can you talk about sometimes, during his life, he had to miss sometimes school, had to miss games, events.
Yes.
Can you talk about how that probably affected him, but also affecting you as a parent, because you don't want to see your child have to miss certain events and go through obstacles like that?
You're right. You're absolutely right. When he would, like 2, maybe 3 times a year, he would often be hospitalized. When he was hospitalized, he would be in the hospital for like a week, maybe 2. And that was, different times of the year. Mainly when the seasons changed, that's when his asthma would act up. And so when he would miss those events, he would be really sad. But, like I said, when he got out the hospital and he was well, he was like, well, Mom, I have baseball practice today. I was like, well, Jordan, you just got out of the hospital this morning. Well, I'm going to call Coach to see if I can come. I was like, okay, Jordan, okay. But he was very resilient, very, very resilient.
So you talking about him being resilient. Jordan was also known for his bright smile.
Oh, yeah.
So can you talk about that smile? Probably lit up any room he went into. Can you talk about that smile?
Oh, yes. He was a very happy child. Well, very happy young man. Several people, when I meet them today, even after his death, they always talk about how he smiled and how they loved it, how a joy he was to be around.
And so you talked about how he was diagnosed at a young age. Can you just give a quick glimpse of somebody who is probably dealing with asthma with their child or dealing with certain obstacles? Let them know that some things you can overcome, but some things you still have to just deal with and persevere.
Absolutely, absolutely. Dealing with asthma over the years, like I said earlier, it was a bit challenging. Just being in and out of the hospitals, just being in the middle of the night, getting up, running to the emergency room, having to call the ambulance. Like a few times he was had to be airlifted. That was just a challenge within itself. So the parents who are out there dealing with asthma and your child, just stick with it. Sometimes it get better, but in Jordan's case, it didn't. There are several resources out there that I have access to. If anyone out there that needs information about asthma, get with me. You can contact me at 205-586-2994, or you can send us. We're on social media. Send me a message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. I'll be more than happy to help you all navigate through the situation, because it is tough, and you do have a child with an illness. So I know firsthand how challenging it can be.
Before we get into your foundation you started a few years ago, I just want to ask you one more question.
Yes.
And I know it was an honor, but it was also a sad thing. So can you talk about how in July and how he was inducted into the Wall of Heroes at the University of Mississippi Medical Center?
After, when Jordan passed away, Jordan was an organ donor, and I myself, I didn't know he was an organ donor. So when I got to the hospital down in Mississippi, they said, well, Miss Kidd, Jordan has the heart on his driver's license, and he's an organ donor. And they asked me, they said, will you honor his wishes by, by getting his organs donated, harvested and donated? And I was like, yes, because Jordan, he had such a big heart. And I know by him putting that heart on, agreeing to being an organ donor and putting that heart on his driver's license, that is something that he really wanted to do. But he saved up to 8 lives that day. And so that's how his name, that's how a mural of him is featured on the Wall of Heroes in Mississippi because of his organ donation. So
then we go from that, then we transition to the foundation that you started 5 years ago. It's called Forever 24, Jordan Matthews Foundation, correct?
That is correct.
Can you talk about how that has made an impact and how that has really touched a lot of people's lives in the community, not even community, but like above the community?
Absolutely, absolutely. The foundation, we sponsor kids that suffer with asthma to go to asthma camp. We help families that has kids suffering with asthma. We sponsor athletic groups. We donate money, to make sure the kids, just in case, they run short. We donate money to different schools and different ball clubs or different athletic organizations to make sure that kids stay off the streets, have something to do, stay busy and stay active.
Right. And you were talking about different things like that. So you have different gala events, but a big thing that you're having tomorrow is the softball tournament, right?
Yes.
This is year 5. So can you talk about how the success that has been and everybody who supports that, even people who travel from near and far, can you talk about the success that has been with year 5 this softball tournament?
Oh, yes. We started, our first softball game was in 2020. In 2021.
Okay.
And we started out with like maybe 6 or 7 teams, but now we have grown over to 18 plus teams this year.
That's awesome.
I know, and the support has been tremendous. We have volunteers that come from Atlanta, Georgia. We have volunteers that come from Florida, from Tennessee, from Mississippi, and people even travel all the way from Texas.
Wow.
So that's just a testament to the type of person that Jordan was, that people still want to support. And coming up on August 23rd, it will be 6 years since he passed away, and people are still supporting.
And I know we were talking off air, but you said this number has grown ever since then. But
yes.
I was doing my research, and they say y'all have invested over $100,000 into the community right here in Sylacauga, Alabama.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that number was like at the end of 2024, and so since 2024, we've probably done like another 20 to 30,000 back into the community.
Before we get wrap this interview, is there anything that you would like to address the community with and talk about anything? I know you say you have something new that you're trying to work on. Is there anything that you would like to talk about and just address the Sylacauga community?
Oh, sure. Well, tomorrow, tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
It is the our fifth softball tournament. So we have, like I said, we have over 18 teams plus, and it's going to be at the Sylacauga, we're at the complex, the Donald Comer Jr. Complex. It starts at 9, but with 18 teams, it's going to be all day, and there's no fee to get in, but if you would come, just bring your family out, just bring a donation, because the donation goes back into the community. And of course, we want to keep the community thriving, keep the young people busy. We do, with the donations that we get, we do scholarships, and like I say, of course, we help kids with asthma and also help them stay in sports as well. And our future project that the board of directors and the members of the foundation, we're starting to work on this on a center called the Reach 24 Center. And that Reach 24 Center is going to be a safe haven for kids in the community to come out, have fun, to come and have tutoring. They come and play, they come practice, they come and just come and just a safe haven away from home.
Well, Ms. Kidd, I know this is probably a sensitive subject to talk about this morning, but I thank you once again for your generous time. And you was talking about Jordan's life and his legacy and some of the things you're doing in the community as well. and we will continue to support you in everything you do. So again, just thank you for joining us this morning on Talks with RJ.
All right, thank you, RJ. We appreciate it.
Stay tuned for more Daybreak right here.